Hello, I'm John. Welcome back. I've got a book haul to share with you today. So these are all nonfiction books, and I've bought quite a few books recently. I've gotten rid of a lot of books. Like I said, I know it doesn't seem like it, and I've actually read about 10 or 11 of the books in my last haul. So uh, hopefully things are balancing out here. Is my point. Probably not. I like to buy books as much as I like to read them. I do intend to read them all. That's not always doable, but one can dream, right? So the first book is Into the Teeth of the Tiger by Donald S. Lopez. It's one of these Bantam War books that I really like. This one is kind of faded. It's not in particularly good shape. I was really surprised to find this. I found it in at a Goodwill in Danville, Kentucky, and I really wasn't expecting to find this there. I got my London tourist guide from 1928 there also at one point. And this one has a really neat cover, I think. It's got a wraparound cover. Some of these are gold, some of them are silver, some of them are copper. And I've never been able to figure out if there's a pattern to that or not. It doesn't seem like it. It seems they just kind of went silver. Sometimes they went gold, just kind of on a whim. This is about a guy who flew with the Flying Tigers in China before the U.S. joined the war. So the Chinese had been at war with Japan for quite some time by the time they attacked the United States and the war started between Japan and the U.S. The next book is Hell's Angels by Hunter S. Thompson. So this is about some time he spent with the Hells Angels, and I haven't read this one yet. I've read some of his books, not all of them. I'd like to read all of them. I recently bought his book, Generation of Swine. It's a collection of newspaper articles he wrote, and it was pretty good. I've already read it, and I need to talk about it. I'm getting pretty far behind in my books that I need to talk about. I'm having trouble talking today. I apologize. The next book is Uncommon Carriers by John McPhee. I think that I have seen every single John McPhee book except the one that I want, which I've been looking for 5 or 6 years now. It's called Oranges. John McPhee wrote a book about the orange groves, I think in Florida, and I want that book so bad, and I have never seen it, but I've seen all his other books, and I've had a bunch of them, and I've read several of them. And this one is about, let's see, truck drivers, ship captains, towboat pilots, engineers of coal trains, and people who fly lobsters around. Freight transportation, basically. So this is really interesting. I'd like to get to this one soon. These books like this, they tend to be really interesting. This one is from 2006, so good Lord, almost 20 years ago. Doesn't seem like that, does it? All right, the next two are by Christopher Hitchens. I never see his books when I'm out in the wild for some reason. I see God is Not Great pretty often, but I've always wanted to read his other books. Here is No One Left to Lie To. I'm in the middle of this one right now. The Triangulations of William Jefferson Clinton. So this is his polemic on Bill Clinton, I guess. I suppose that's the right way to say that. And this is, Hitchens liked to hit hard. He really didn't like hypocrisy. Let's see, here is his memoir, Hitch 22. I've read his essays. He's got a big, he's dead of course, but he had a big collection of essays, big yellow hardcover, and I read that, and it was really good. And I don't know how I'll feel about his memoirs. I've heard they're pretty good. I don't always agree with Hitchens. I like the way that he wrote. Here is The Song of the Cid translated by Burton Raffels. This is a let's see, a dual language edition. So you have Spanish on one side and English on the other. That's pretty neat. I don't know much about the El Cid story, so that should be interesting. The next is Modern Submarine Warfare from 1987. And this is really interesting. It has all kinds of different subs in it. Each gets their own page. Some of these are what I would think of as real-life sea monsters. Here is the Ohio-class bomber, with a nuclear missile sub. And let's read about the Ohio-class sub. The Ohios have 24 vertical launch tubes for ballistic missiles disposed in 2 rows abaft the fin. The missile currently carried is the Trident 1 C4, which has a range of more than 4,000 nautical miles and can carry up to 8 independently targeted re-entry vehicles. In the late 1980s, the C4 will be superseded by the Trident 2 D5 missile, which will carry up to 14 MIRVs and have a range of 6,000 nautical miles. So if you're wondering what a MIRV is, it's a multiple re-entry vehicle. It means that each missile has multiple warheads that can be independently targeted onto different cities. So if there are 24 of them, I mean, do the math. If each missile can carry 14 warheads, that is a scary, scary sea monster right there. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that keeps me up at night, thinking about those things out there floating along incredibly slowly, incredibly quiet. So here is Germany, the Federal Republic. And this is really interesting. I've been to Germany. I spent 2 weeks there quite a while back. I was 17. My uncle was stationed there. And he was living in a little town called, I think, Nebringen, outside of Stuttgart. And it was really neat. We went all over the place, and really we went into the part of Germany that would have been the Federal Republic at the time. You know, I've never been able to keep them straight. It's West Germany was the free side, and the East Germany was the Soviet side, right? I can't remember. I've never been able to keep those two things straight in my head. It's even more confused when I think about Berlin. But what's interesting to me about this book is that the Germany in this book, I think this is from the 70s, is very, very much like what I saw when I went there in 2011. I think it was either 2010 or 2011. So that was really, really neat. And some of the places that I went are in this book. So I was really happy to find this. And of course, all the cars were just about different. But like I said, Germany looks very much like this now, or 10 years ago, 14 years ago. I can't imagine that it looks all that much different from how I saw it. It's a really beautiful place. It really is. And if you ever get the chance to go, you should go. And the people there are really nice. Really, really nice. This is kind of neat. I didn't expect to find this. I always look for books like this. I really like coffee table books. I have quite a few of them. I've been thinking about doing a video on them. I just haven't exactly figured out how to do that, because I don't know if it would be better to do one at a time or to lug them in here and do a bunch of them at once. They're really heavy, and they're in 3 different rooms. Here is Japanese Style by Suzanne Slesin, Stafford Cliff, and Daniel Rozensztroch. Maybe. I'm not sure how. Rozensztroch? Rozensztroch? And this is really interesting. They went into people's homes in the late 80s and photographed people's homes, both, you know, older homes and newer homes and avant-garde homes and traditional homes. Really neat, really interesting. And then some of them are, you know, just regular people's houses. I think things like this are really interesting. And of course, 40 years has passed, and you can never find the neat pictures when you want to, can you? What's the deal with that? I'm sure I'm not the only one. But yeah, I just think this is really interesting. I always look for books like this, but they're kind of hard to find. You know, people really hold on to them. And the last one is The Ocean World by Jacques Cousteau. And this is really big and really heavy and really neat. So this is from 1979. Jacques Cousteau was, of course, a really famous ocean explorer. He used to have all sorts of expeditions, and it's kind of hard to show the pictures. This book is so big. But this is really interesting. And yeah, it's really heavy. So let's see if I can do a pyramid here. It's going to be like a weightlifting workout. So let's see if I can lift this. Here we go. All right. I know it doesn't look very heavy, but it's pretty heavy. And yeah, there's some really neat stuff that I found, and I'm really happy about some of these. Now, the truth of the matter is, with these big coffee table books, I tend to just look at the pictures and read the captions, and sometimes read, you know, a couple of pages here and there. But I think that's sort of what coffee table books are meant for anyway. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and love to hear your thoughts. And I'll see you next time. That was kind of a serious workout. I messed that up a couple of times and had to do it about 4 or 5 times. So anyway, thank you. I'll see you next time.